Hey guys, Hillbeast here again, and I've actually got multi-OS data now working on the phone. Well, I think it's working. It seems to be working fine. So I'm in CM just now. As you can see, I've taken away a few widgets and a few things are missing, so pay attention to that. We're going to come back to CM. So we're going to do reboot, and we're going to go into recovery and do OK. Alright, so the way I've changed it now is it no longer just does a whole bunch of copies and stuff like that. Now what it does is you don't have a bunch of folders in the data partition anymore. Instead, what it does is you move your folders over using hybrid data to SD or whatever method you're going to use, and then you will bear with me while I just go and tell it to switch ROM to Cura ROM. Yes. So you put your stuff onto the SD card as you normally would, and then you enable multi-boot, and then what that will do is whenever you change ROMs, it'll back up the old one into a tarball and put that on the SD ext partition on the phone, and then it will extract the backup for the current ROM. So for instance, say you're switching from CM to Samsung, it'll back up the CM and put that in a tab, put it on the SD and then it'll extract the Samsung, deleting everything off the data partition completely, wipes it completely clean, and it puts everything from Samsung back onto it again, and then it will just run as it would. And this way is much more reliable than the way I was doing it. Much quicker because it's not having to do individual file accessing. It's just doing a massive tar. It just dumps the whole lot straight onto the partition, and it just works way better. Now there's two ways we can do this. Now, there's two options that we have in here. There's an option to just back up the data, and then there's an option to back up the data and the Dalvik cache. Now, without the Dalvik cache, you're going to save a lot of space, because obviously the Dalvik cache won't work between different ROMs, because there's different, like, Android policy and all the jars and stuff like that. All the frameworks are all different between different versions, so that's going to cause problems with the Dalvik cache. I have found, even without clearing the Dalvik cache, it seemed to clear it by itself. I'm not sure what that's about, but I think it's probably because of the fact that I'm wiping it. But I found that it seemed to fix itself up a little bit. But I'm not even going to bother with that at all. It's clearing the Dalvik cache. Doesn't matter. Anyways, without the Dalvik cache, you're going to save a lot of space in the backups. So if you wanted to keep a lot of ROMs, like you wanting to switch between, like, sort of say Android or Kairos or anything along those lines, then it's going to go a really quick backup, really quick to restore it, and uses very little amount of space. Whereas if you are switching from Whereas if you keep the Dalvik, it'll mean it's a much faster boot. The first boot will be much faster. However, it'll take up a huge amount of space because you got to take into account that Dalvik cache is usually about the same size as the apps. So for every app, you've got the same amount of size, and you're backing that up. It's just going to really fill up your SD card. So I recommend going for without Dalvik cache, unless you are constantly switching between just say 2 ROMs and you don't have a lot of apps or anything like that. Or if you've just got an ODEXed ROM, then it's not going to use too much Dalvik cache, and you just use your phone just as standard, and you just switch between 2 ROMs which are both ODEXed. Then I suppose you could use the Dalvik cache version, but it's just a single file which you need to add to it to tell it to do Dalvik cache. But that's all just going to be on the G3 mod app as well. Everything's going to be really easy to do. I have no idea if this has wiped the Dalvik cache or not. I don't know how long this is going to take to boot, so I'm just going to keep talking about stuff while it's going. But, yeah. Basically, the way I'm doing it now seems to be by far the most reliable way of doing it. And here we are, back in CarroROM. As you can see, I've got no data or anything in here, but as you can see, it's already got my messaging app has been moved. Oops, I moved it over there. So now there's the big test. Go away. Stupid media scanner. I hate you so much. Right, so let's pull up an app. Ah, god damn it. It's doing a media scanner. It's going to take forever. Bear with me while all my apps and stuff show up. There we are. IMO. Please work. Please work. Don't. Yes! There we are. He is working. See, IMO was also working. I didn't show it to you, but IMO was working in CM as well. But there we are. Perfect. Switching between the two takes a little bit of the time to rebuild the Dalvik cache, but as I said, you can fix that if you want to. I just need to fix that up because it's a bug that I've got. So there we are.